So I was entertaining thoughts in my head, and the question that I came up with was, what gives people the thought pattern that they have the right to speak their thoughts and opinions into people's lives as if it is facts? I stopped and I thought about it, and the only thing that popped into my head was the ego. You see, the ego is rooted in pride. You know that little song Beyonce saying something about, I got a big ego? Well, all she's saying is, I got a lot of pride, okay? So the ego is what allows people to think that they have the ability to speak into others people's lives, their thoughts of the other person's life. I want to tell you today that you might need to tame your ego. My auntie used to tell me that I needed to mind my apples when I was small, when I would put myself into positions that I had no business being in as a child. She would tell me that, baby girl, you need to mind your own apples. And so I want to tell some of you today, it's time that many of us begin to mind our own apples and stop focusing on the speck that's in your brother or sister's eye and focus on the plank that is in your eye. And you will realize by living out your truth and also showing up authentically and just being who you were created to be in itself will be an example of people of how to live a godly life. And God will use you as an example to that, to where those people will come and actually ask you, what is your thoughts and opinions, without you putting your 2 cents into whatever it is that you may think. Because in the end, when we get to heaven, everyone has to account for themselves what they did here on this earth. And one thing we do not know is what God is telling other people to do. And our thoughts and our mind and the way that we see things, we might be like, that doesn't make sense. But God surely did tell that person to do that. He surely did tell that person to say that. And until you can sit down in their secret place and hear what the Lord has said to them, it's time that many of us begin to mind our own apples and focus on what the Lord has told us to do. And when they ask for your opinion because they feel that you are valuable counsel, wise counsel, then you give it, but you allow the Holy Spirit to speak through you while you give it. It's still not based in you. It still should not be based in your ego, in your pride. It should be based in a heavenly wisdom that only comes from God Himself.